Sydney Glace Bay, your choice draws near, the lines are drawn or needs a
Donald
clear.
Trump has the country so worked up, some folks are thinking it's a question of simply picking red or blue. But back here in Cape Breton, the kind of economic hardships that tariffs could impose on the whole country, well, we've been experiencing the equivalent since the 1960s, and it didn't go away. We cannot vote for what's best for the Ontario automotive industry alone. We have to vote based on what's in our own best interest. Some of you might think Anna Manley or Mike Kelloway are the de facto frontrunners. Mike might be feeling safe because national polling is showing a Liberal majority as a very high likelihood, and 338 Canada rates Sydney Glace Bay as Liberal likely, not to mention it's been largely a Liberal stronghold for a very long time. But Anna Manley, despite doing a door-knocking blitz, isn't really that well known. If Eddie Orrell couldn't get past Battiste, then why would a person new to politics with her name on the ballot for the very first time get past Kelloway in an election with Liberals polling so strongly? Now, most people who know Anna know her only because they paid to have her finalize a home purchase as a lawyer. Now, on top of that, she's making key mistakes, like suggesting Cape Breton doesn't need more government investment, or that Tim Houston can do whatever he wants with our equalization funding. Now, Anna's campaign has been so loyal to Poilievre, it's almost as if she's running for MP in Ontario. Well, if Anna's just competing for second place, what about Mike Kelloway? Well, Mike Kelloway is in danger too. Mike Kelloway is in danger because Sydney Glace Bay isn't his riding. He pulled the rug out from under Jaime Battiste, who was the incumbent for this riding, even with its boundaries adjusted. About 70% of the voters in Sydney Glace Bay had Jaime Battiste as their Liberal candidate before. And if we do the math, that means Mike Kelloway has left behind about 70% of the constituents he represented in Cape Breton-Canso. Now, talk about truth and reconciliation. Mike and the Liberal Party simply took the riding from the first Mi'kmaq member of Parliament, Jaime Battiste. And Jaime didn't give it up. He was the one to challenge the boundary change. And all along the way, he insisted that he would maintain his riding and that he intended to run in Sydney Glace Bay. Now, I feel bad for Mike losing Glace Bay and the boundary change, but in a way, he's sort of admitting that his priority in Cape Breton-Canso was Glace Bay all along. And the other 70% of his constituents, he's completely willing to let go, and he did. But Mike and Anna, for the most part, are new to this ballot. Anna is completely new, and Mike is new to 70% of the folks that were asking to vote for us. But they're not new to me. 9,731 of you voted for me in the CBRM mayoral election, and the vast majority of the CBRM is within the Sydney Glace Bay riding. My name is not going to be new to any of you that voted before in that election. And my focus for us won't be new either. I'm looking to use the federal toolbox for the same concerns that I've been trying to address all along the way. 9,371 votes, and the math says we just need 1,000 more votes on top of that, and I'll win Sydney Glace Bay. I told folks on the dark horse, and I still am, I'm the most familiar candidate to voters in Sydney Glace Bay. But the question remains, can I get the extra 1,000 votes that I need to win? Well, I say, why not? In the mayoral election, I was going to be the second choice to voters for Rankin McSween, the majority of the time, and likely at the same frequency with James Edwards. So a reasonable expectation is there are at least 19,000 voters out there that will consider voting for me. And that's more than enough to win this election for Sydney Glace Bay. Of Mike, Anna, and myself, I'm the only one that speaks entirely for us right here in Cape Breton, because there's no Carney and there's no Poilievre to tell me what I can or cannot say. And both Mike and Anna both said they won't touch equalization at all. They said it during the debate. $3.46 billion comes to Nova Scotia, but it doesn't make its way here, and we get eaten alive by taxes. But you're still supposed to vote based on Donald Trump because of his bullshit about the 51st state. That's supposed to make us forget that we're one of the most underperforming economies in the entire country, and we've been struggling since the 1960s, long before they were talking about any national tariffs. At least Mike Kelloway and Anna Manley are hoping that you forget that. Otherwise, the dark horse, Joe Ward, is going to come straight up the middle and win this election. Now, if Anna can't win, and she's on the wrong side of the next government we're about to get, then bring your conservative vote with me. And if Mike Kelloway shot himself in the foot by stealing away Jaime Battiste riding and leaving 70% of his constituents behind, then bring your votes with me. Whatever they might have you believe, they're both at serious risk with me in this election. And the only way to have representation that is entirely about us and not about a party, and the representation by someone who regularly engages with everyone from every political background, is by voting for me. So vote Joe Ward for Sydney Glace Bay, and our future is going to get very interesting from here on out.
Sydney Glace Bay, your choice draws near. The lines are drawn, our needs are clear. I'm not plastic, I'm not posed, not in a box or stuffy clothes. Anna's equipped with cash and spin, like status quo just to fit in. I can't be bought, I won't be sold, built on grit, wired to be bold. Action figures in a row, but only one's got guts to go to Ottawa with passion and solutions mine. Joe Ward knows what's on the line.